what's up, everybody? Welcome to Easy Money's Sports Betting Show, Saturday, December 31st, 2022. Man, it's been a quick year. Last day of the year is already here. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez. How's it going?
Oh, going pretty good. Excited for some college football today. Some big games.
We have some big college football games today. Excuse me. And a lot of big NFL games tomorrow. Some NBA today. There's quite a big slate of games going on today.
A lot of college football on Monday too.
Yep. Glenn, good morning, guys. Eating breakfast and getting ready to head over to Green Bridge, fill the house for Pacers game at 1:30. I forgot the Pacers play afternoon game today.
Yep.
I think at 3.
3, I believe. Yeah.
I think I saw that yesterday. Should be a good game. So far, the Pacers are playing pretty good during this tough part of the schedule. I went over Cleveland. Now you got the Clippers tonight at home. So that'll be another strong test because Clippers are healthy right now.
Yep.
Another strong test because Clippers are healthy right now. Yep. All right. We'll go ahead and start in college football since those games start at noon.
Oh, by the way, I went 5-5. Last time we was on, I think it was Thursday. I ended up going 5-5. I was 2-1 in NBA, 2-1 in hockey, 1-2 in the college, and the Dallas game. I guess was a push, but I consider it a loss. So 5-5.
All right. Move over here too. We get everything pulled up. Got, I think, 2 college games at 12.
Yep.
Today, and then the 4 and the 8. I don't understand why they scheduled the other 2 right at 12. Why didn't they kind of have them separate times as well? That'd been nice. Hey, what's up, Mike Hughes? All right.
Did I read that right? Mike tore his ACL?
I'm not sure.
I thought I seen he did some damage to his knee.
Probably he's still one of them young guys thinking he can run around and do everything. I remember those days. Now it hurts to freaking walk. Let's see. First game is gonna be Kansas State at Alabama. Kansas State's ranked number 11. Alabama's number 5. Alabama's a 7.5 point favorite, minus 310 on the money line. Kansas State is plus 245 on the money line. This is going to be the Sugar Bowl. Over-under is 55.5. So that's went up a little bit. It went to 7.5. It was at 7. Kansas State. he said, because I'm Superman, I tore my Achilles and I'm feeling like Kobe. I can still beat Frankie in a race. But no, Kansas State scores 33 or averages scoring 33 points per game. Allows giving up 20 points per game. You have Alabama scores 40 points a game and allows 18 points a game here. I think Alabama wins this game. I really like that at 7, but I'll still stick with that at 7.5. I think Alabama's offense is going to be able to score points against this Kansas State secondary. We saw Kansas State play TCU, and I don't think TCU's quite at the level of Alabama. And that game was back and forth. Neither defense could really stop each other. So I think Alabama's defense is going to be able to slow this Kansas State offense down. So I like Alabama at the minus 7.5.
I like Alabama at the minus 7.5 too. The key for Kansas State, they got to run the football against Alabama. If they can run the football with a lot of success, they may have a chance. But I'm gonna go with Alabama minus 7.5.
And then you have also at 12 o'clock today in the Music City Bowl, Iowa versus Kentucky. Iowa's a 3-point favorite, minus 160 on the money line. Kentucky's plus 132 on the money line. Over-unders at 31.5. Iowa scores 17 points a game, allows 14. Kentucky scores around 22 points a game and gives up 19. So their numbers are pretty close. Iowa actually lost to Kentucky in a bowl game last year. So kind of a rematch from a bowl game last year. Last year they played in the Citrus Bowl. This year they're playing in the Music City Bowl. Kentucky has a good defense. I think that's what's going to really keep them in the game. I favor Kentucky at the +2, or actually that's went up to +3 now instead of -2.5. It's actually -3. But I like Kentucky at the +3 here. Iowa isn't starting a normal starting quarterback.
Oh, they're not?
No, it's going to be a backup QB that's starting for Iowa, and I think this Kentucky defense is going to give that Iowa offense some trouble anyway with their starter, but without their starter, I think even more. So I like Kentucky here at the +3.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kentucky +3 also.
And then you got the two big games, the national championship semifinal games for the college football playoff. First game is at 4 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be number 3 TCU against number 2 Michigan. Michigan's a 7.5 point favorite in this game. -330 on the money line. TCU is +260 on the money line. Over under is at 57.5. TCU averages scoring 40 points a game. They average allowing 25 points a game defensively. Michigan scores 40 points a game offensively, allows 13. I think Michigan wins this game. I like Michigan at the 7.5. I wish it would have stayed at least 7, but I think Michigan wins this game at the line of scrimmage. I think Michigan's offensive and defensive lines are going to be too physical for TCU, and I don't think TCU is going to be able to stop the run game of Michigan. So for those reasons, I like Michigan here to get the win and advance to the college football national championship game.
I agree. I'm gonna go with Michigan too. The only thing I'm worried about Michigan a little bit is seems like if you've noticed they get off to slow starts first half, but I think, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the same thing here. But I think Michigan will beat them by more than a touchdown. So I'm gonna go with Michigan also. They play a lot better schedule than what TCU did. So.
And then the other national semifinal, you have number 4 Ohio State at number 1 Georgia. I think this has the potential to be the best game of the day, but we'll see if this Ohio State offense can score on this Georgia defense. It's been good all year, even after losing a lot of pieces from last year's team. But Georgia's a 6.5 point favorite, -245 on the money line. Ohio State's +198 on the money line. Over-unders at 52.5. Ohio State averages scoring 44 points a game. Defense allows 19. Georgia scores 38, and their defense allows 12. So, I mean, if you go by the numbers there, they're pretty close. Georgia's offense has been a machine all year. They basically returned everybody from last year. So, I mean, this offense been together for 2-3 years now. Their defense has a lot of new starters on it, but it hasn't really slowed down much from last year at all. I ain't gonna lie, I'd like to see Ohio State win this game. I'm a Big Ten guy, so I'd like to see Ohio State Michigan rematch in the championship game. But I'm gonna go with Georgia at the -6. I just don't know.
No, I had it at 6.
Or actually, it's went up to 6.5. Okay. Yeah, it is at 6.5. So at the -6.5, I think Georgia's going to be able to score points, and I think the defense is going to be able to score or slow Ohio State down enough. But I mean, we've seen Ohio State's offense go off, but then we've also seen them struggle against when they play some of the better teams. So it's going to be interesting. But I think Georgia's the best team in the country.
I think they are too. I think Ohio State's got a chance. I think the biggest key is the defense. They had a collapse. I mean, they was in control of that Michigan game, and then collapsed pretty much in the last 10 minutes of that game. Their defense is the key, I think, against Georgia. We was talking. We think they probably got to be to beat them. Probably keep them around 24 points, maybe around that. I think Ohio State's going to have to score about 30 and keep them under that. I mean, I don't think they can. They don't want to get in the games where if Georgia scores 35 points, I think Ohio State's not going to win.
Yeah. No, I agree. You don't want to get. They don't want to get in a shootout. They got to slow that Georgia team down because I don't think Ohio State's offense is going to be able to get. I don't think Ohio State's defense is going to be able to stay with that Georgia defense holding each other. So it's going to be interesting. That's all the college football till Monday, and then let's see what. Before we jump over to NBA, I did have a few NBA to NFL. I did have a few NBA picks for today's games. I like the Indiana Pacers at the plus 3.5 at home against the Los Angeles Clippers. Clippers are 3-2 over their last 5 games. Pacers are 4-1 over their last 5. Been playing good basketball. I also like the Bulls plus 4 at home against the Cavs. Then I like the Brooklyn Nets -7 at the Charlotte Hornets, and the New York Knicks -4.5 at the Houston Rockets. That's going to be my NBA picks for today.
I didn't do any NBA. I have an NHL parlay. Okay. Give that. Okay, I'll do. I'm doing the Predators at the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm taking the Vegas Golden Knights money line win. I got the Montreal Canadiens at the Washington Capitals. I'll take the Capitals money line win. And I've got the Arizona Coyotes at the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'll take Lightning money line win.
All right. Then college basketball for today. I have a UConn -2.5. Florida State Florida State plus 16.5. Florida State's playing Duke today. So like Florida State to plus 16.5. Also like Houston the -15.5, and then Texas -3.5. Are going to be my college basketball picks for today.
I've got a college basketball parlay. I got Virginia Tech -1.5 at Wake Forest. I got Merrimack at Wagner. I'm taking Wagner -8. And I've got Southern Mississippi -6.5 at Appalachian State.
All right. Now we have we'll move over to the NFL. Got a big slate of games, a lot of important games in the NFL this week. I was listening to the radio earlier and got to thinking today, or not today, but this season in the NFL. When's the last season that we've had this many teams still with a chance to make the playoffs going into the last two games of the season? I think it's been a while that there's been this many teams still alive going into the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean mathematically, there's only a handful of teams that's out of it.
Yeah, the parity in the NFL has been a lot stronger this year than in past years. I mean, like we said, there's really no clear-cut favorite. I mean, there's teams that you think have the better chance, but I mean, we've seen the good teams lose to teams that we don't think they should lose to, and vice versa. So it's going to be interesting. And first game Sunday is going to be interesting. Kick that off it's going to be the Carolina Panthers at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This game here is basically for the NFC South. Winner of this game is going to get that division and make the playoffs. Tampa Bay's a 3.5 point favorite at home, -205 on the money line. Panthers are plus 172 on the money line. Over-unders at 40.5 points. That 3.5 just was at 3. But I favor the Bucs in this game basically because of experience. I know it's hard. It's weird saying that after what Carolina done to Detroit last week, but that was a real big surprise to me. I never thought they would really blow out Detroit like they did. the key for the Panthers is going to be can they get that run game going again like they did last week? I think they're going to have a little bit more trouble running the ball against Tampa Bay, even though Tampa Bay's defense hasn't been as good this year as we thought it would be. I would still say it's been a little bit better than the Detroit Lions defense. Lions are real good offensively, but that's what's hurt them this year the most, their defense. So I'm going to favor the Tampa Bay Bucks in this game. It's not a game I'm actually giving out as one of my best picks, but I would favor Tampa Bay just basically because of the experience and having Tom Brady.
I'm gonna go with Carolina. I think they're gonna. Of course, I don't think they're gonna score near as many points, but I don't think they're gonna have to with Tampa Bay because Tampa Bay's had trouble scoring points. I'm gonna take Carolina in the 3.5. I think they are gonna run the football enough to control time and possession of the game. So I think that I honestly think Carolina will beat them straight up, but we'll see.
Then you have the Cleveland Browns at the Washington Commanders. The Commanders are 1.5 point favorites. They are minus 130 on the money line. The Browns are plus 110 on the money line. Over-unders at 40.5. I like the Commanders in this game on the money line at home. Browns are a struggling team. Deshaun Watson hasn't really found his groove yet since he's been back. Washington's a team that's still right there for the playoffs. They have went back to Carson Wentz, which was kind of a surprise to me in a way. Yep. But I still, even with that move, I still like the Washington Commanders over the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I'm going with Washington
also. And that's a game I kind of like the under the 40.5 in because neither one of them teams usually have real explosive offenses. Next game is going to be the New Orleans Saints at the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are 5.5 point favorites at home, minus 260 on the money line. Saints are plus 215 on the money line. Over under for this game is at 41.5. If the Eagles get a win this week, they would clinch the number one seed and clinch their division. But they've already clinched the playoff spot. But there's just still a slight chance that Dallas could get that division if the Eagles would slip up and lose both these games. From what I've heard, it's looking like Hurts probably isn't going to play again this week, which that's what I kind of figured. If he plays, I figured it'll be next week. I would play him at least a little bit next week. I know there's an injury risk, but
if they lose this game next week,
he'll definitely play. Yeah. But I think you play him next week either way, unless his injury is that bad. Because how many times have we watched the Colts have great seasons, 14-1, 13-2, get that first round bye, decide they're going to rest people and then they end up having 2 to 3 weeks off, and then we come out and look just flat terrible.
Yeah, I think he's going to get back on the field if he can. Yeah.
I mean, I know there's always that risk injury, but sometimes the risk of losing your chemistry and coming out rusty can be just as bad sometimes. So it's a slippery slope there, and I don't think there's a 100% right or wrong answer because I've seen it work out both ways. I know as a Colts fan, it worked out against us more than it ever did for us.
Yep,
really. I mean, hell, me and Austin was talking about that the other day. That year that they won the Super Bowl, we didn't have a bye. We was on the road the whole time. Nobody thought we'd win it that year either. But then next game is going to be the Cardinals at the Falcons. Falcons are 6 point favorites, minus 250 on the money line. Cardinals are plus 205 on the money line. Over-unders at 41. This game, I favor the Falcons. It's not a game. This isn't one of the games going to be on my picks of the day. Cardinals are starting another new quarterback. Yeah. David Blah, I think is who they're starting. Yeah. If I remember right, was a Purdue product.
I believe so.
Played for the Lions he started for the Lions a few years back, and so he's going to be starting for the Cardinals today. I favor the Falcons just because I know they have a rookie quarterback starting, but
he's played a few games already.
He's been around the team a little bit longer than this other guy has. I favor the Falcons basically because of that, and they're at home at the -6. Then you have a big AFC South matchup: Jacksonville Jaguars against the Houston Texans. The Jaguars are 3-point favorites. Jags win this game, they basically have the division locked up, don't they?
I think so. Yeah.
I think it's going to be. I think Jags win this game.
Well, maybe not, because if Tennessee was to beat them,
Yeah, no, you're right. It comes down to next week. It's going to come down next week, Jags and Tennessee, because they said that during the Thursday night game, no matter what.
Yep.
So the Jags, and we saw what Tennessee done with this week's game. They rested a lot of players because they had so many injuries. They rested a lot of players, kind of going all in for next week's game. It'd be interesting to see what the Jags do, since this game really don't mean a whole lot.
Yeah. It might be. It might be. I don't know what would happen if Jacksonville won this game and that Jacksonville Tennessee game ended up in a tie. So I think Jacksonville wants to win this game. I don't think they want to lose, because that could change things.
Yeah, it could change. I like the Jags.
I do too. And last I seen it, it was -5. So
it's at -3. Yeah. I like the Jags, but the Texans have been playing good. They've been playing better football. They last 2 or 3 weeks have been some real close games. So I don't think it's just going to be a blowout. But I like the way Trevor Lawrence has been playing for the Jags.
Yeah.
Then you have the Chicago Bears at the Detroit Lions. The Lions are 6-point favorites at home, -270 on the money line. The Bears are +220. Over under for this game's at 52.5. I like the Lions in this game at the -6. I just don't think the Bears are going to be able to score enough points offensively to keep up with the Lions. Even though that Lions defense isn't great, but the Bears offense has gotten better as the season went along. So don't get me wrong, there they have. But I think the Lions offense is going to be a little too much.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Bears on that one. I don't know. Detroit really let me down last week. I thought they was going to beat Carolina. I really did. Bears have been playing better. I know that it seems like they find a way to lose games, but
yeah,
I like the +6.
Then you have the Miami Dolphins at the New England Patriots. Patriots are 2.5-point favorites at home, -142 on the money line. The Dolphins are +120 on the money line. Over-unders at 40.5. I like the Patriots in this game, as odd as that kind of sounds, even saying a little bit. Dolphins are going to be starting Bridgewater after Tua's had another concussion. I'm not saying that I think Bridgewater is a big fall off from Tua, because Tua hasn't been playing real great the last 2 or 3 weeks anyway. But this Dolphins team has been going the wrong direction. Patriots' biggest problem is their offense as well. But I think this Patriot defense is going to be able to slow this Miami offense down enough. So I like the Patriots at home here.
What's the point spread on
it? 2.5.
Yeah, I think I like New England too.
Then Broncos at Chiefs. Broncos have been terrible all season. Chiefs are 12.5-point favorites at home in this game. Broncos fired the coach last week. I don't think that's going to make a big difference. They're going to have to figure out what they're going to do with Russell Wilson after he's just had a disappointing season after they signed him to this big multi-year deal. So they're going to have to try to find a coach to get him playing better. I think the Chiefs win this game. 12.5 is a little more than what I want to give up, just because this Broncos defense is a good defense. Yep. And what are they going to look like? Are they going to come out with a little bit more energy? Maybe sometimes you see these teams come out with a little more energy after the coach get fired. But I think the Chiefs win, but I think 12.5 just might be a little too much. Then you have the Indianapolis Colts at the New York Giants. Giants are 5.5-point favorites, -235 on the money line. The Colts are +194 on the money line. Over-unders at 38.5. Colts are starting Nick Foles again. That experiment did not go well last week. I think it's going to be a close game, though, just because the Giants' offense isn't real explosive. The Colts defense has been playing well. I'd like to take the Colts here at the +5.5, but I can't, just because of the way I've seen them play the last 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah. And the Giants are still playing for a playoffs for a wild card spot. I would lean toward the Giants here. It's not a game.
I'm not taking it, but I would.
It's not a game that's going to be one I'm taking. But and then the Jets at the Seahawks. Jets are 1.5 point favorites, minus 124 on the money line. Jets are going to be starting Mike White at quarterback again.
Big game for both teams.
Yeah, both teams still trying to hang on to get in the playoffs. This one was a little harder for me. I like the Jets kind of because of their defense, but I favor the Seahawks with their offense a little more than I do the Jets. And being at home for the Seahawks.
Yeah.
So this is a game I actually think I favor the Seahawks at home. I think you're getting good value getting them at plus 106 as an underdog.
Yep.
Then you have the 49ers at the Raiders. The Niners are 9.5 points. Or 9.5 point favorites over the Raiders. Over-unders at 42.5. I like the 49ers to win this game, but not 9.5 points is still, to me, is a little too many points. I know the Raiders are going to be starting Jared Stidham. They benched Derek Carr, so I get all that. And the Raiders haven't really looked good most of the season. But being at home, like I said, I favor the 49ers, but just the unknown is still having that rookie quarterback kind of keeps me from giving up the 9.5 points.
Yeah. I got a question real quick. I just seen a stat showing some stuff here with Iowa and Kentucky, counting down the kickoff stuff. That Levis, which the main guy, I forget his name now, the draft guy for ESPN, been there for many years and gives out his top quarterbacks and stuff. I can think of his name. You know who I'm talking about. Oh, Mel Kiper. Yeah. He's got Levis as his number one quarterback. And when we was talking to college, you said that Levis, Kentucky was only scoring about 20 points a game? Something like that, 20, 23 maybe?
Yeah, around 23.
So that's unusual for, I'm not.
I think it's going off more of his potential. Yeah. And I think that just shows there's not really that top.
But in
most people's opinion, there's not really that top quarterback.
Out of the quarterbacks that's coming out, there's a couple that's not coming out, can't come out that I like, but they can't come out yet. Yeah, they got one guy's with USC I like, and what's the other one? I can't think. We've talked about him before too.
North Carolina.
May. I like them two better than I do anybody that's coming out, in my opinion. But who do you think the top one coming out is?
I'd probably lean toward Levis.
Would you really?
Just because I'm not sold on that. I'm not sold on Stroud from Ohio State.
Are you sold more on Levis than Hooker?
Probably right now, just because of the injury. It's because of the injury with that knee and on Hooker. If Hooker wouldn't be injured, I think I'd have him real close. But with that injury, and nothing against, and not trying to sound like a downer, but Hooker being more athletic guy, depending on his athleticism, you never know how a guy like that's going to come back from a knee surgery.
How about the Georgia quarterback? I know people's not near as high on him, or even the TCU quarterback. But
I think they'll both get drafted. I think they'll be.
But I mean, value wise, do you think Levis is worth taking in the first round over a guy like TCU?
No, I don't think any of them are worth taking in the top, unless you're going to get them late in the first round. Because I'm not sold on Bryce Young either. I think his size could hurt him
For opinion though, like you saying, would you think that Levis is that much better than Dugan? Especially if you can get Dugan in the second round.
Well, I think Levis is a little more has a little more talented arm, than what Dugan does. But I'll tell you what, that Dugan, I'm not gonna lie, he really impressed me in that conference championship game, as well.
And the guy can't come out now, but the USC quarterback, which I was impressed with already, but his toughness that he showed that last game that he played. I was really impressed with also.
Oh, yeah. Then we have the Minnesota Vikings at the Green Bay Packers. I think this is going to be a real good game. You have the Packers, who still have a chance to get into the playoffs, but they got to win these last two games, and it's set up for them where they got two home games against divisional opponents. They need to win these last two, and I think they still got to have a team lose here and there, but it's not as bad as it looked like a week or two ago. Packers are 3-point favorites at home. I like the Packers in this game. I know the Vikings have the better record. They've looked like the better team most of the season. Packers offense looks like they're starting to get in the sync a little bit. But the main reason I like the Packers in this game is this Vikings defense. The Vikings defense is just not very good. And I think Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay will find a way to get enough done to squeak out this victory and go into Chicago go against Chicago next week with a chance of getting in the playoffs.
So Green Bay's the favorite, right?
Yep.
Okay.
They're a favorite at home.
I know it's at home.
When's the last time a 12-3 team has played a 7-8 team and the 12-3 team being underdog?
One thing I got, Minnesota's defense not played well, and it's a big game. And can they beat Green Bay in a big game? I don't know, but Minnesota's won a lot of close games. So I was going to go with Minnesota and take the points.
Then you got Los Angeles Rams at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are 6.5-point favorites. I like the Chargers in this game. I like the way the Chargers have been playing. 6.5 points scares me a little bit just because that Chargers offense hasn't. I mean, they've been playing better, but because they've got a lot of their weapons back, but they still struggled a little bit in the red zone. This Chargers defense has been playing a lot better. I think the Chargers the Chargers haven't made the playoffs. So I mean, they've already clinched the playoff spot, so they're not as.
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, they may only play him the first half or something. They may not want to take a chance.
But I favor the Chargers, but it's probably a game I'm not going to take just because of some of the injury stuff. And then you have the Steelers at the Ravens Sunday night game. It's kind of weird that this game got flexed to the Sunday night, but being a divisional game, both of them still have playoff implications.
Yeah.
I like the Ravens.
And Lamar Jackson has been ruled out, so he's not playing.
Yeah, I like the Ravens at the -2.5. I trust Huntley a little more than I do the Pittsburgh quarterback. Pittsburgh does have a hell of a defense, so
Pittsburgh's been playing a little bit better lately.
Yep. And then the last game on Monday night, very, very possibly probably going to be the game of the week, as you have the Buffalo Bills at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bills are 1.5-point favorites. This game's basically almost a pick 'em. Over-unders at 49.5. I do like the over in this game. And then this is a tough one, but I like the Bengals here. I just think the Bengals have been playing real good football, gotten hot at the right time, kind of like last year. Only thing that does worry me a little bit about the Bengals, they did lose one of their offensive linemen.
Yeah.
And they've been able to start the same 5 offensive linemen all season long. So it'd be interesting to see how that affects them. And I'm still real high on the Bills. So, I mean, either team could win this game, but I like the Bengals being at home in this matchup.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Another thing that worries me a little bit about Buffalo is if Buffalo wants a chance to win the Super Bowl, the quarterback's got to quit turning the ball over. He's had way too many turnovers this year for Buffalo. And Cincinnati's defense is decent defense, and they're pretty good with turnovers. So that worries me a little bit. Yeah, I think I like Cincinnati a little bit better at home.
All right, that's all the NFL games. I'll go ahead and I'll recap my other picks for today, and then I'll give out my NFL as well. College football today. In the early games, I like Alabama -7.5 against Kansas State. I like Kentucky at the +3 against Iowa. I like Michigan -7.5 over TCU, and I'm going to go with Georgia -6.5 over Ohio State.
Won't you let me do my college real quick, and then
Okay.
My college football. I've got Alabama -7.5. Kansas State versus Kansas State. I got Iowa versus Kentucky. I'm gonna take Kentucky plus the 3. I got Michigan -7.5 against TCU, and I got Ohio State versus Georgia. I'll take Georgia -6.5.
All right, and NBA today, I have the Pacers plus 3.5, Bulls plus 4, Brooklyn Nets -7, and the New York Knicks -4.5.
NHL. I did an NHL parlay. Didn't do an NBA. I got the Predators at Vegas. I'll take Vegas money line win. Canadians at the Capitals. Capitals money line win, and the Coyotes at the Lightning. Take Lightning money line win.
And then college basketball, like UConn -2.5, Florida State plus 16.5, Houston at the -15.5, and Texas at -3.5. Do you have any college basketball?
Yes, I do. College basketball. I got Virginia Tech -1.5 at Wake Forest. I got Merrimack at Wagner. I'll take Wagner -8, and I've got Southern Mississippi -6.5 at Appalachian State.
All right, then my NFL picks for this week, I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars -3, the Green Bay Packers -3, Detroit Lions -6, and the Baltimore Ravens -2.5. And then also put together a money line, NFL money line parlay. It's a 14 parlay. Commanders on the money line, Jacksonville on the money line, Patriots money line, and the Bengals money line. $10 would pay out $84. So that's going to be my picks for the NFL for this weekend.
Here's my NFL picks. I got Minnesota +3 at Green Bay. I got Carolina +3.5 at Tampa Bay. I got the Bears +6 at Detroit. I got Jacksonville -3 at Houston. Miami at New England. I'll take New England -2.5. And I got Cleveland at Washington. I'll take Washington money line pick.
All right. Do you have anything else before we get out of here today?
No, I don't think so. I think that's it.
All right. Well, appreciate everybody joining us. Well, thanks for all the support this year. We will see you guys on Monday, being a new year. Hopefully you guys have some good luck with the picks this week. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at GonzoSportsRoom. Like and follow on Facebook and Twitch as well at GonzoSportsRoom and at the All Sports All Plays Network. We'd all greatly appreciate it. Like I said, hope everybody has a safe New Year's Eve tonight. And we'll see you guys on Monday with another episode of Easy Money, a sports betting show, right around 3:30 Eastern time. Enjoy the day's slate of college football and NBA, and we'll see you guys on Monday.